The Sacramento Kings have been flying under basically everyone's radar this entire season. Now, they're not having a great season. They're probably not even having the season that Kings fans expected. But in my opinion, they are still a very, very solid team, and more of a circumstance of the fact that the Western Conference is absolutely stacked with talent this year, opposed to the Kings not being a good team. So I think, yes, they are, right now, the 8th seed or 7th seed? They're somewhere around there right now, but I think that they could easily upset a lot of teams above them. Now, do I think they're beating the Nuggets? No. Do I think they're beating, the best of the best? No. But I do think they're a very, very good team that literally nobody in the playoffs wants to see, especially not in the first round of the playoffs. And I think they have huge upset potential no matter who they play in the first round, assuming they do make it out of the play-in tournament. So, in my opinion, like I said, nobody wants to see them, and there's a few reasons why, and I'm getting to those reasons in this video. So if that does sound interesting to you, please watch the video all the way through, hit the like button, subscribe button, and the absolute road to me. And without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. So the first thing I really want to get into is the fact that they have probably the most underrated duo in the entire NBA right now. To start it off, they have De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox, in my opinion, is a top 5 point guard in the entire NBA, and no one really talks about him, and he is very, very underrated, and he's been that way for basically his entire career, and a large part of that is because, well, he is in Sacramento, and no one likes to talk about Sacramento too much, especially not in basketball terms. But in my opinion, De'Aaron Fox has been as good as basically any other point guard in the entire NBA this year, as he is currently averaging careers highs in points per game, steals per game, and three-point percentage, and like I said, is legitimately one of the best point guards in the entire league right now. And on any given night, he can keep up scoring with anyone, and he could even outscore some of the best scorers in the entire league right now. And I think he's averaging 27 points per game, and he's just been very, very impressive what he does, and his quickness makes him a very dangerous on-ball defender, and even in the passing lanes. So overall, De'Aaron Fox is just one of the most underrated players in the entire NBA, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on him, and hopefully in playoff time, he can show the world why I think this of him. And then obviously the other half of the duo is Domantas Sabonis. Now, Domantas Sabonis is also one of the guys who is playing at an unreal level, and the fact that he didn't make the All-Star game the first time is absolutely insane, as Domantas Sabonis is averaging career highs in points per game, assists per game, rebounds per game, and field goal percentage, and is probably one of the best bigs in the entire NBA. He is basically a Walmart Nikola Jokic. Now, when I say a Walmart Nikola Jokic, that does not mean he's a bad version at all. It's just the fact that Nikola Jokic is on an entire different planet than anybody else in the entire NBA at the skill level he plays with, but Sabonis is the closest next thing you can get to him, as he is an excellent passer from the big position. He can score the ball from anywhere in the big position. He can still get you boards. He can do everything a normal big can do, but he's also a great passer, very smart with the ball, and is just one of those guys that you love to have on your team and makes everyone around him better. So from the fact that you have De'Aaron Fox, who can score at will whenever he wants to, and you have Domantas Sabonis, who legitimately could be a top 10 big in the entire NBA this season, I think you have a great duo and one of the most underrated duos in the entire NBA. And as we've seen with teams like the Miami Heat, when you have a lot of talent on your team and a lot of high-level talent, like Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and people like that, you're a very underrated team despite having a lot of talent. We know that the Kings also have that chip on their shoulder mentality, and when they're an underdog, it's probably when they're going to play the best, because teams aren't going to take you as seriously as they probably should. So I think there is a very real chance that that duo can really help upset anyone in the first round, and I think they're good enough to compete with anyone else's duo in the entire NBA. Now, do I think they're the most talented or best duo in the league? No, but I think they're good enough to compete with any other one in the entire NBA for sure. And then my next reason to why I think they're going to be very good and very scary in the playoffs for anyone to have to compete with them is because I think they are perfectly molded and built for going into the playoffs. Because in my opinion, you need a few things. You need multiple stars on your team, you need a deep team, you need a good mix of veteran and young guys, and you need a whole bunch of shooting on your team to make a deep playoff run in the NBA. And what do they have? Well, they have their 2 stars in Fox and Sabonis. They have tons of floor spacing in Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray. Those are 2 excellent shooters, and Keegan Murray does it from the power forward position, which is huge to extend someone's big out there. And then Kevin Huerter, you can't leave him for a second or he will kill you from three. Now, yes, I know he's had a few kind of lapses this year in his three-point shooting, but it's still Kevin Huerter. You cannot leave him no matter how bad or good he is shooting. They have veteran presences on this team, especially ones like Harrison Barnes, who is a very, very solid player, and he really rounds out their starting lineup nicely and can give you 20 points per game every other night or so, especially in the playoffs. He's been winning at the highest level before. He knows what it takes, and he is going to know what it takes and help lead this team. And then you also have a great six-man, one of the best six-men in the entire NBA, maybe six-man of the year this year, in Malik Monk. Malik Monk legitimately can give you 20, 30 off the bench any given night. Like, he can go absolutely off, and if he's on fire, he can win you games off the bench. That's how good his offensive game actually is, and I think he is, like I said, one of the best six-man in the entire NBA. And the six-man position, outside of the starters, is probably the most important position in the entire NBA, because he's the guy that's going to bring the spark, the talent, and if he can beat the other team's six-man consistently, that is going to be extremely, extremely valuable for the Kings going forward, especially in the playoffs. And then to kind of round out their bench, they have an elite defender in Davion Mitchell, who, although, yes, he's not going to score a lot of points, he's not going to do flashy things, he's an absolute dog, he's going to play hard defense, and he can score when he absolutely needs to, so he can even give you a few solid minutes off your bench. And then the last few guys off their bench are even also very, very solid, as they have guys like Keon Ellis and Trey Lyles. Now, Trey Lyles is another floor spacing big who is very valuable, and like I said, if he is hitting the threes, he can really spread out the team he's playing against, especially on the bench, and it's going to be very hard to match up with them when you have guys like Sabonis in the paint and Fox on the perimeter. If you can't double those guys because you have to worry about Trey Lyles shooting your three, that is going to really, really make it hard to guard them. And then Keon Ellis is an absolute dog as well. He's from Alabama, I'm pretty sure. He's a very solid defender, and he's just a high energy guy who's going to be able to bring a spark. So if the energy's down one game, he's going to be able to come in and really bring the energy and hopefully pick up the rest of his teammates as well. So I just think overall, this team has a great mix of veterans. They have the star talent, they have the shooting, they have the mix of veterans and young guys, and I just think overall, this team is built for the playoffs, and they are very much in prime position to upset anyone they play in the first round, assuming it is not the Denver Nuggets. But if they play Minnesota, New York, or any of those teams like that, I think for sure, well, they can't play New York, Cody. That was my bad. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. But if they play any team like Minnesota in the first round opposed to like the Denver Nuggets, I think for sure this team can help upset someone. Even if they play OKC, I think that they can upset them in the first round as well. I don't think they will, but I do think it is a very real possibility. So really, that's really all I wanted to say in this video, but I just wanted to get that point across that I think the Kings are a vastly underrated team right now just because of their record, although the Western Conference is very tight and very talented, and I don't think that record shows how good the Sacramento Kings actually are. But unfortunately, guys, that's me for this video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think that the Kings are underrated? How far do you think they're going to go? Who do you think the most underrated team going into the playoffs is? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you'd like to point the like button, subscribe button, and add support to me, and I hope you have a blessed day, because I had a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, blah.